Chapter 13, Descriptive Statistics. Descriptive statistics are four types. Measure of central tendency, mean, median, mode. Measures of dispersion, deviation, variance, standard deviation, skewness, kurtosis. Measure of position, percentile rank, quantile rank. Measure of association, correlation. In this chapter, we will study all these four types of descriptive statistics in detail. Now, terms related to statistics: primary data, information collected in one's mind. Initially what we think over that, we are going to gather some information regarding particular data. That initial thought is the primary data. Secondary data, the information gathered from stored information. We already got the information of primary data, and further study of the primary data is called the secondary data. Raw data, the collection of information or observation recorded in numerical form initially. Variable, quantity of measured in experiment. In experiment, the quantity which has been used to measure, that is what we call as a variable, and it is of two types: continuous variable and discontinuous variable. In continuous variable, the variable could be calculated in the height, age or weight. In discontinuous, it will be number of workers in a particular factory, number of family members in a particular family, or you can say in a locality the number of family members you can calculate for that, or the population of village, etc. Many of this continuous will be calculated as discontinuous variable. Types of data. There are three types of data: univariate data, bivariate data and multivariate data. In univariate data, one variable is used. That means, for example, height of 5 students given to you. Then height in centimeter is 160, 170, 177, 182, 190. So this information, whatever we are having in the height, is being represented. This conclusion is being made by using histogram, pie chart, bar graph, frequency polygon. In any of these options, we can represent this given data. Bivariate data, there are two variables are used, and they have the relation. These two variables have the relation between them, and it is being clearly observed in this given data. Year and production of car is given to you. In 2012, 12,000 car is produced. 2013, 14,000 car was produced. 2014, 12,500 cars were produced, and 2015, 24,000 cars are produced. Now this conclusion is being made by using the graph. Two variables x and y are plotted on x-axis and y-axis, and which is being represented on the Cartesian plane, and graph is being drawn. Multivariate has two or more variables. This is the expansion of bivariate data, further expansion of bivariate data. Scales of measurement. We have four types of scale measurement. Nominal scale, its property is, in this, named and labeled variables is important. Ordinal scale, named and labeled variable plus order variable is also required. Interval scale, name, labeled variable plus ordinal variable plus equal interval between variables. So we can say interval scale is the, in addition of nominal and ordinal scale, it also required equal interval between two variables. Ratio variables in addition with nominal, ordinal and internal scale, it requires zero variable. That means no value exists below zero. True zero is there. So we have named, labeled variable plus ordinal variable plus equal interval between variables plus true zero, in which means that no value exists below zero. Data representation and visualization. Data can be visualized by pie chart, bar graph, histogram and frequency polygon. In exercise 13.1, first question says, the number of students in a hostel speaking different languages is given below. You have to draw a pie chart for the given data. Languages Hindi, English, Marathi, Tamil and Bengali is given to you according to the number of students it's also given. Now to represent this on a pie chart, first of all it is important to calculate the central angle. To calculate the central angle, we must know the total number of students. We added the total number of students and the central angle is being calculated as the number of students divided by total number of students into the angle of a circle. 72 ones are 72, 72 fives are 360, 40 fives are 200 degrees. Central angle for Hindi is 200. Similarly, we calculate for other languages also. Number of students divided by total into 360 gives me central angle as 60 degree. Similarly, for Marathi also 9 by 72 into 360 gives me 45 degree as central angle. 7 by 72 into 360 gives 35 as central angle, and similarly for Bengali also 4 by 72 into 360 gives the central angle as 20 degree. Add all these central angles, 200 plus 60, 260 plus 45 plus 35 plus 20 gives you as 360 degree. Now for this, first of all you draw a circle. Using compass, draw a circle. This is, suppose this is the central point. Now from here, keep a D over here. Calculate for 200 degree. So to calculate 200 degree, better we go with all these angles 60, 45, 35 and 20 degree, and the rest remaining will be the 200. So first we calculate for 60 degree. Here I will get 60 degree here. So this give me the result as, say, 60 degree for English. After that, keep a D over here, then make a 45 degree angle. This give me the result as like this, 45 degree. From here, I will calculate for 35 degree. Next 35 degrees there. So I will get 35 degree to be here. This is 35 degree. 35 degree. Next is 20 degree. Keep D over here. Calculate for 20 degree, which is this much, is 20 degree. Rest is 200 degree. So I can say central angle for 200 degree, this portion is Hindi, this is for English, this is for 45 is for Marathi language, 35 is for Tamil language, and 20 is for Bengali. So this is how we calculate as a pie chart. You want to make a more beautify it, so color for these languages, do the coloring for different languages. Say for Hindi you can color for blue, English different color, Hindi different, Marathi different color, Tamil different color, Bengali different color. So this will become a colorful pie chart in that case, or then visualization of this given data is represented in the form of pie chart. A man's monthly expenditure is shown in the pie chart. Read the pie chart carefully and answer the following question. First question says, if monthly income of a man is 72,000 rupees, how much he spent on each item? First of all, we calculate the expenditure on each item. So we make a table, items, central angle and the expenditure. Item, food, rent, education, savings and miscellaneous. Corresponding, their central angle is 90 degree, 75 degree, 50 degree, 100 degree and 45 degree. If we add total, central angle comes out to be 360 degree. Now expenditure is central angle divided by the angle of a circle 360 degree into the total income, the monthly income earned by a man. This comes out to be 200, which is equal to 18,000. Expenditure is in rupees. Similarly, we calculate for rent also 75 degree upon 360 degree into 72,000, which is equal to 200, which comes out to be 15,000. Next, 50 upon 360 degree into monthly income 72,000 degree, on cancelling 200, that comes out to be 10,000. Then 100 degree upon 360 degree into monthly income 72,000, which comes out to be 20,000 rupees. Then 45 degree upon 360 degree into 72,000 degree, on calculating comes out to be 9,000 degree. So we come to know that each item, the expenditure on corresponding each item. Second question is, what is the ratio of savings or to the education? The ratio of savings and education. So let us proceed with it. Say here, solution second, ratio with savings and education. Education. Savings is 20,000. Ratio education is 10,000. So ratio is 2:1. Third question says, how much more money spent on rent over miscellaneous? The money spent on rent is 15,000. On rent, money spent is 15,000, and on miscellaneous, money spent is 9,000. So how much over it is being rent over miscellaneous? So just subtract. You will get 6,000. So the difference is 6,000. Given below a data of a number of students of class 11 in a certain school, you have to draw a bar graph. Class 11th A, B, C, D is given to you, and the number of boys and number of girls in particular class is given to you. You have to draw the bar graph. For this, first of all, in a Cartesian plane on a graph paper, we will mark the points taking the interval of 2. This is 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. Maximum is 26, we take 26. Now on y-axis, this is y-axis. On a y-axis, we have taken number of students. Number of students. Okay. On x-axis, we consider the classes, boys and girls. Say for class 11th A, these are classes. For 11th A, boys 24, let it be here. You will make with a scale so that it will give you the exact rectangle. And for 18 girls, boys. Then for 11B, 22 boys. 11B, 22 boys. Let it be here. and 20 girls. Girls, boys. Then for 11C, 26 boys, maximum number of boys are in 11C, and 12 girls. Then 15 boys in 11th D. 15 will be between 14 and 16. So it comes out to be really up to this mark. 15 boys and 18 girls. So 18 is somehow a little bit higher, on a higher side. Boys, girls. So we can observe that this is the double bar graph where we have taken boys and girls of class 11th A. Boys I shade in this form so that it will be differentiate between boys and girls. These rectangles are being differentiated by boys and girls. So I will mark over here, this represent for the boys rectangle and the plain one represents for the girls rectangle. This is how we represent the given data, visualization of the given data in a double bar graph. This is what we call as a double bar graph because two boys and girls, two items have been represented on the same graph. Construct a combined histogram and frequency polygon for the given data. Weekly earning is given to you and number of workers are given. First of all, we draw a histogram. For this, on y-axis, I will make the number of workers with the interval of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Maximum is 22. This is y-axis and here I will write as number of workers. On x-axis I will take weekly earning with the interval. This dash symbols shows that the data is coming back from the 0 with the interval of 50. So I will take 150, 165, 180, 195, 210, 225 and 240. This is my x-axis and here it is weekly earning in rupees. Okay. Now next is number of workers. 8 workers are there who are earning a range of 150 to 165 rupees. So I will take a rectangle till 8. After that 165 to 180 is 14 workers are there. So I will come to this point 14. The range 165 to 180 is 14. 22, 182, 95, 22. Latest 22 is here. This is my point. I will go up to this mark. You make with the scale so that proper rectangles should be formed. 195 to 210, 12. So here it is 12. 195 to 210. After that 15 to 15 should be between 14 and 16. So it is somehow here. It should be somehow here. So I will take the rectangle. 210 to 225 as 15. Then 225 to 246. Here it is. So 150 to 165. 8 workers, and for 165 to 180 there are 14 workers. Between earning of 180 to 195 there are 22 workers, and here 12, then 15 and 6. This is how the frequency histogram has been formed. Now we have to make a frequency polygon on the same histogram. For this, what we have to do, we just take a midpoint of frequency polygon, midpoint of this histogram. This is my midpoint. I will take all the midpoints and join the midpoints to form a frequency polygon. It should go with this. This is 0 from here. I will join midpoint with free hand. With free hand, I will join midpoint to make a frequency polygon. This is called frequency polygon, and these rectangles are called an histogram. So we have made a histogram and frequency polygon on the same data. This is how the data is being represented in a visualization form, histogram as well as frequency